Sometimes we get the idea that, oh, certain kinds of suffering, well, we've moved past that. We're not suffering like that anymore. It's ongoing. The Buddha teaches us that the suffering of samsara is cyclic, all-pervasive, and that it is the very nature of samsara to be filled with fault. So we see that suffering is all-pervasive, that it hasn't stopped. There is terrible suffering throughout the world. And we begin to wonder, what can we do about it? Maybe it moves us. Maybe we feel like it's unbearable. I've been making myself watch CNN practically all day, a lot. And I find that the condition of the world is unbearable. It is unbearable to see that kind of suffering. So we see in this world alone, what the Buddha said about samsara is true. The suffering is all pervasive. Even if we just look at the human condition, the suffering is all pervasive. It never ends. And that's only humans. What about the condition of animals who are killed for their meat or their skin or their pearls, like oysters? What about the conditions of animals that are forced to work all day long? They didn't apply for that job. No workman's comp when they break down either. So the condition of animals is terrible. You think, oh, well, you know, I have animals and I take good care of them. Well, that's your animals, but in the realm of the animal kingdom, there is terrible fear and terrible suffering of all kinds. So the Buddha talked about the animal realm and he talked about the human realm, and he was right on both accounts. So we have to think that the other teachings that the Buddha has given about the rest of cyclic existence, the form and formless beings that are so many in number and so many in kind that we can't even conceptualize what they are. That in every one of these realms there is so much suffering. It is all pervasive. So that is the reality that we are being taught by the Buddha. Now what that gives us is the opportunity to make decisions that we couldn't make unless we had that information. Because that information, although sad to hear and sad to face, it really is sad. I mean, I watch CNN and I cry. It's not like we're emotionally immune. So to watch this kind of thing is very, very sad, but what is the benefit? What does it give us? Well, I would say empowerment. A kind of natural empowerment that tells us we cannot just stand still. That if we have the strength to help or the strength to do in some way, perhaps this is the time. And it makes us feel that we'd like to do something, that we'd like to help. That we yearn to be able to solve these problems. And ultimately, studying the faults of cyclic existence give us the confidence and the courage and the strength to practice our path for the liberation and salvation of all beings.